You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over.
This is not my home. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon. Why aren't you laughing?
From this moment on, none of you are safe.
Welcome to the Batman Book Club, a podcast exploring the Dark Knight Library. I'm your host, Ryan Lauer. The Batman Book Club is a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Just go to batmanonfilm.com, click on podcasts, and you'll find the Batman Podcast Network that has a whole list of other Bat-related shows that also like to dive into other nerdy subjects that we all love to frolic about in our free time. If you like what's going on with the show and you want to help support the show, keep those generators running in the Wayne Manor study, let's go to patreon.com/the Batman BC. Now, thank you for listening to episode 164, Batman in August. There's some wonderful gnat sounds coming in here of some lawn mowing going outside. So it's going to help add to that ambiance. Also adding to the ambiance is a frequent collaborator here. Joins me every month. You know his, I don't know, you know his name, you know his antics, you know his love for frolicking. It's Peter R. Verra from Straight Outta Gotham. Hello, Pete.
I don't hear one lawnmower, so
You didn't? Oh, good. God,
no,
these mics are great.
So,
all right.
No one knows what you're talking about.
Good. Invest in quality microphones. It helps.
Can you hear my dog barking?
Nope. Really? You got
Okay.
a dog? Your dog's barking?
She
Man,
just did.
We have some
them.
good mics
Yeah.
today. No, not hearing it.
All right.
So it's a combination of Zoom and good microphones. Pete and I have the same mic.
Yeah, we have the Blue Yeti.
Yeah. So Pete, how's it going? It's been a month.
It feels like the old days. There's a lot of Night Terrors books and a lot of books, and like I feel like this month they were putting us to the test this month. They're like, hey, you guys have had it easy the past couple months.
Yeah.
Clark Bull's like, why don't you two read something?
Yeah. Oh, you guys are talking about the good old days when you're doing 30 issues a month, huh? Let's get back to that. I was a little you missed that. Is that what you're saying?
He's like, oh, you like the advanced previews? Yeah, check this.
Before Pete, we get into the nit and gritty, I want to bring up really quick and plug another podcast of yours that you do, because you did something fantastic and you let me be part of the club, Italians for Spidey.
Oh yes, Ryan Lauer.
Yes,
finally left Gotham City. First time ever.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And he ventured out to the greatest city in the world, New York City, for some Spider-Man talk.
Yeah.
And he didn't get he didn't have the Johns on Bleecker experience, but what he did get was a little Hydro Man, and it was a lot of fun.
That's right.
So if you want to listen to Ryan talk about insects instead of flying rodents,
yeah,
you got to follow the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast, which I do monthly. It's kind of like this.
Yeah.
Ryan inspired me. Like, I didn't just, some people have stolen Ryan's idea blatantly,
sure.
just outright stolen it. Ryan inspired me. So instead of talking about past books, I kind of keep up to date with the modern Spider-Man title, the current Spider-Man titles, as of right now, covering 2 of them and a little animation. So Ryan is, he's quite the mentor in the podcast game.
Oh, geez, God. But no, Italians for Spidey Coalition, wherever your podcasts are sold for free 99. Yeah, Pete allowed me to come on. I'm not Italian, but he let me in the club, and it was a fabulous time talking the 90s Spider-Man cartoon series, which is you and I talk all the time anyways off mic, and you know that I adore that series. So it was nice to be on to talk about it. So yeah, check that out.
To have you on. And I also, hopefully enough people shame you for eating at the Olive Garden that you never do that again.
Okay.
He's like, I don't like. Well, I'm looking forward to the day you come to Jersey where I can take you to a pizzeria that's better than the Olive Garden.
Hey, I am all for that.
Like,
I'll be there one day.
We're gonna get you pizzeria spaghetti, and you're like, this is better.
This is pretty good.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I'll go there. You take me there, and then when you visit Chicago, we'll hit up some Greek spots. They know how to
Yeah.
take care of their customers.
What kind of food do they have in Indiana? Like when I go to Indianapolis, what is like
chains?
is it really? Is just very chainy?
It's very chainy. Barbecue is probably like the safest bet.
Really?
You'll find
Okay.
like a lot of barbecue
I enjoy
joints
that.
all over the place, and I love local barbecue places. I
In
will choose that
Indianapolis.
over
Okay.
chains all day, any day.
Because you know
Um,
Indianapolis is on my to go
you got to see a
my
Pacers game.
vacation list. Yeah, I got to do it. I got to do it before I die.
I got to see a Pacers game. So yeah, all right, it's a date. Done.
You're like the guy who
Holzman not
lives in
allowed.
Brooklyn, who never leaves Brooklyn and has never been to like the Statue of Liberty. Like, what do I need to leave for? I live in Brooklyn. Everything's right here. There are
Yep.
people like that.
Sounds like me. I've been places. I've gone
Yeah,
places.
you've been to New York now.
As far as out west. I haven't made it all the way to Kowalski country, but I got to Vegas. Those were good times.
I went to Vegas, New Jersey style, which was Atlantic City.
So actually, you're the guy who's like, "Look, I got Vegas right here. Why do I need to leave?"
No, I do want to go to Vegas, but there's a big difference between flying and driving.
So hopefully everybody can help pitch in to hire a documentary crew to follow Pete when he gets to Las Vegas, because that's a Max documentary.
That
right
might
there.
be an OnlyFans purchase. I might have to have an OnlyFans for that one.
He'd be uncontrollable. But
Oh man, I may never
I'd
come
wanna
back.
see that.
I may come back in a body bag.
It's the way you'd want to go, though, right?
I mean,
It'd be a
I'm
good
not
time.
contributing to society, so yes. If I have to die, I want to die like what's his name in RoboCop. I want
geez.
Clarence Bonninger to shoot me up after I just did blow off some chick's chest. That's how
Pete's ideal way to go. All right. Well, we have it.
like some people are like, I want to die in my sleep. I'm like, no.
we'll have it documented right here. All right, guys. Let's make Pete's dream happen. I guess. I don't know.
All right, we're gonna murder you.
Yeah. Oh, geez. All right. Well, hey, that's a perfect segue into us talking about Batman comics in August, and kind of like we did for last month, Pete. We're gonna split this up kind of into two ways. Whereas first off, we're gonna be talking about Night Terrors. Last month was, I think, 3 issues of Night Terrors, like of the main line, and then all the other books had, their first issue. And then this month there's Night Terrors 3, Night Terrors 4, Night Terrors Night's End.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake. And then conclusion of all the titles having Night Terrors. So let's group it. Let's just group it kind of like we did last month as well. And let's talk, Night Terrors 3, 4, and then Night's End. So kind of as in one envelope. So you did a post on Twitter. I'm gonna let you have it, where you said that you kind of came around, or it warmed up to you, the Night Terrors story.
I want first of all, let me give DC a lot of credit for how they did this event. This was literally 2 months and they didn't drag this out. I mean, the main book alone is like 6. This literally could have been like half a year.
Yeah.
Like they could have stretched this out and made us all hate this thing, but it's so compact that I think it really benefited someone like me, because while I think half the tie-ins suck, I think the main story is actually pretty good. And I think it's a really good Dead Man story. I'm going to pick this up in trade. I really like this.
Nice.
I didn't read it physically. I read it digitally because it's expensive to buy all these books. Like I'm not going to do it, especially with like this is something I will go back and buy. And then Adam told me the Green Lantern book was very good. So I'm doing a lot of like word of mouth, a lot of people, and I'll pick it up that way. But I think the main title is really good. I love the Dead Man aspect of it. And I really kind of warmed up to the aspect of Batman being possessed, because it's still Dead Man's personality and characteristics. It's just Batman's body. So once I was able to kind of get past Batman doing un-Batman things, I was really open to this story, because Dead Man's got to exist somewhere physically, right? So once I was able to kind of like, okay, let me just channel my inner Neil Adams here and get to where I need to be, and then I can understand what I'm reading.
And that was a meditation, because people can't see that you really did just close your eyes and you could just
that was like not a
yourself.
joke. Like I really had to like just what would Neil do here? And Neil would just kind of sit back and be like, well, he'd tell me some story about back in the day, and then I would just be like sucked in for 45 hours.
And then you're
Listen to
good.
him just talk. Yeah, honestly,
I'm
oh god, I miss
upset.
that man so much. Rest in peace. But yeah, like I fell in love with it by the end, and I think it's good. Williamson, he most of the time he delivers. Like I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's been doing, or his past, present, current. He's pretty brilliant. I think he's going to be up there by the time his run at DC's over. I think you'll be talking about him and like with people like Jeff Johns easily. So again, like the main story's really good. By the end of the story, you're like, wow, this was kind of interesting.
I'm interested in, which I know you have so many points that I want to jump on. First off, I am glad that while all the books were focused around Night Terrors, that they did just make it all in 2 months rather than it takes over the entire DC universe comic book line for 6 months or something too. It felt overwhelming, like to where there was a lot to read. And last month I told you I read all Night Terrors, everything. This month I did not do that.
No, I didn't know. I was very selective.
But that being said, because there were quite a few of the titles, and 2 of them specifically we're going to talk about, that I basically just kind of didn't like. There were a couple that were kind of like, yeah, they were okay. And then actually, I totally agree that the Green Lantern and then Shazam books were actually pretty great. And I think you'd really get a kick out of Shazam.
Okay.
So I'd recommend those 2. And so, just doing Green Lantern and Shazam, that's only 4 comic book issues and they're regular size. So it's not too much of an undertaking. As for Night Terrors itself, overall, I'll be interested when they do collect it all together. I'll read it again. Because I'm a little like in and out with it, but I don't not like it either. It's just I was more into it at times than at other times where it was a little like, Damian gets factored into the equation this month. I'm a little like, but then he does have some cool moments too, which is a pretty big deal for me to say, like, not negative about Damian. But there's some fun angles to it of where Batman and Robin are walking off and Batman saying some things about, oh, my son or whatever, and it doesn't take Damian any time at all, and he's just like, who are you? You're not my father. And it's like that was Insomnia taking over Batman or something, and and then Deadman,
I agree with you.
And Batman turns around and wakes Damian up, and he's like, dude, you just he called him dude. They did, dude. You just nodded off. Like little moments like that are kind of like were kind of cool. There's like a difference in the art style for the Night Terrors books, where I forget which one of the artists it is, that it's almost like when the issue opens and it's Deadman like talking to us, and the look of that is like really, really cool. And then it goes into taking us more like into following along of Sandman, Deadman, Batman, Damian and stuff. The big fight at the end, I was a little like, but also part of that was because of Porter's art, which I've talked about with you. Like,
funky.
Like as time has gone on, I've become a little bit less of a fan of it. I liked his earlier stuff better. So it was just kind of, I don't know. I was bringing in, basically the Justice League and all of them fighting Insomnia and his sleeping beasts and all that. And I'm like, But spoiler alert, I do really like how Deadman basically does the sacrifice to defeat Insomnia, and then the final like twist with Insomnia on that, where you think it's like, oh, okay, happiness, he's back with his family, which we learned was the whole reason to start and why he hated the Justice League was because of, by now you'd almost feel it's a trope of heroes, the destruction have effects. It's almost like it took forever for comic book stories to get that and start to analyze, like, okay, Superman's fighting Zod, what about the people in Metropolis? But then it's like now you can't get past that. It's almost like that focus is there all the time now, and it's always asking those questions and everything.
Too many questions.
Too many questions. And Insomnia, I do like that spot though, where he is reunited with his family in his dreams or whatever, and then it's just like you turn the page, and then they're all evil and they come after him and like eat him or whatever. It's like, oh, sweet, okay, I'm down for that. And then of course it teases of like the next event or next big storyline that's coming in November, which is bringing in the Wall.
Well, Waller's been teased in a few books, so this is something. And if you've been reading Williamson, a lot of his stories are actually connected. Like you could follow, like there are a lot of just obvious breadcrumbs that even stem back to like his Robin series. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
like
Okay.
the fact that like the Batman's it all kind of ties in together. And Lazarus Pit, Lazarus Planet, whatever that was, right? That was his. Like this is all kind of like one Williamson like grand tour here. So it's if you like this big all connected all these Kowalski things, this is your guy. That's what I'm
Are you
saying.
gonna Are you gonna be all in on Doctor Hate?
I don't know. I
To
don't
be
know.
continued in Beast World, November 2023.
I might
So
not. I
it's
might not get to that.
gonna be part of like Beast Wars. I'm just kidding.
It is all connected.
So yeah, overall, the main story of Night Terrors, I think there's some shiny moments, some okay moments, and a little bit of like, meh, but I'll check it out again.
I had fun
When
with
they
it. It
release the
reminded
collected
me of Endless Winter. Just a
Endless
good
Winter
old
repeats.
Endless Winter. It did.
Endless
It was
Winter.
yeah. It was
Endless Winter.
it
I haven't
feels
bought
like a fun throwback, just classic superhero mash 'em up. Like again, this is I don't every once in a while they do an empty the toy chest event and it works really well. And I think Night Terrors is one of them, and I think Endless Winter was another.
I haven't reread that. And I've wanted to. I need to just
Just the
pick up
villains
the
throwaway. It's not a
collection
big
because I thought
deal,
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
That one was
that's
just
kind
like
of
a
how I
lot of
felt.
fun.
I liked Endless Winter more, but if I had to compare it to something, I would compare it to that, and I enjoyed them both. So
Gotcha. The two titles that I said specifically we're going to talk about that fit into Night Terrors. First one was Batman #2, Night Terrors. Batman Night Terrors #2, whatever the hell you want to say. I don't even really remember what happened because
I'm
I
gonna be
mean,
honest with you, I
granted,
don't either.
it was beginning of the month, but also like the issue was just meh. It's total meh. I didn't really care. Best thing about it was probably like there were a couple cool variants. Um, but it's back to like picking up last month of like, see, I'm flipping through now, even trying to figure this. I don't know. It's not like I don't even know how to really explain it. There's some cool art from Gilliam March. So there we go. There's a good takeaway. But then it's Batman going up to Bruce in Crime Alley underneath the lamppost with the parents that are dead, and it's like
Yeah, I don't know.
feels like a retread again, which I mentioned
It
last
feels
month
like more of the
also.
same from last issue, and I didn't really enjoy last issue.
Yeah,
So like I don't really, and to be honest, I don't remember it because I think it was very forgettable. Like I'm trying to actually
exactly.
find it on the app, and
I mean, the
when did it
art,
come
there's
out?
some
Was
August
it the
1st,
first of the month?
first Tuesday, yeah. So there is some really good art from Gilliam March, I think, especially in Crime Alley and with Batman and the coloring and the shading and stuff, and underneath that lamppost. I mean, it's a good panel or a full page
I mean,
spread of
seeing Michael Keaton's cool.
Bat Batman consoling a little Bruce Wayne. It's cool.
I
There's an
did
emphasis
like
that I
how
found with Joshua Williamson of how the emphasis on the Bat family, in part, like the discussion there is about, I think, and others will find you and referencing the Bat family and stuff. And I'm a little picky when it comes to that stuff too. And then yeah, like you said, Zernar, your favorite.
yeah, I mean, he's sprinkled around a few issues here, Skittles Batman. I did like how the ending tied into one of the like ending beginnings of Night Terrors. I
Yeah,
can't remember which one it was. Like I thought that was cool. Like it led right into it. Like you kind of saw the before and after. That's the only good thing about the story. I think the story itself sucks, but it does. It's like you're watching Batman. You're not watching. You're reading Batman and Deadman do one thing, but you're seeing what's going on in Batman's head simultaneously while they're doing
yeah.
it. Like that, it was a cool aspect. I just think the execution was only done half decently.
I think it's written well as far as like it's kind of done well. Well, first off, when he does wake up from this nightmare and he looks out the window and it's basically got, like the War of the Worlds aliens all over the place. And he's like, I'm still in my nightmare. And he turned the page and it's Damien, this is the real world and we lost. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of a cool moment though. A good way to end something of like, oh, hell. And I do think Damien there at the last page looks like a John Romita Jr. illustration. But yeah,
get
overall,
that.
I mean, Batman 2, like
Yeah,
you
not
don't,
fair.
nah. Um, and that's my positive outlook on these two issues specifically, because then Detective Comics, Night Terror's Detective Comics #2. Pete, you review some BOF, and I always tell you, you get to have first crack at it.
Sucks.
Okay.
That's
I
it.
didn't like it either.
It's a bad
at,
it's a bad book.
at all.
It's it doesn't make sense for Jim Gordon. I don't like it. I wouldn't tell you to buy it. Save your money. If you bought it, I don't know, resell it for 50 cents on the dollar and consider yourself, a winner.
I was really trying to wrap my head around what happened last issue too. To try and make sense of this one. This was the
This is
last issue
more like
that I
stupid, like
read.
Jim,
I started
dumb
it.
Jim Gordon.
It took me 3 times to finish, because the first 2 times that I sat and started, I'm just like, I might just not even read this and just let Pete do the
Not
talking.
good. It's just not good.
The only positive I had to say is the art, because I do think that art is fantastic.
Yeah, I said something like a review was like, I was like, this story can't even be supported on the back of 3 artists. It's like, this thing's so bad. It's just,
So
it's not good. Detective's got a stink, man. Detective is not good.
Ricardo Federici, he, in which we found out he did Lazarus Planet. He did like an issue or a couple issues or something for that too, and really on my radar now because I really dig his art. But I think, Detective Comics is back on normal schedule, as is Batman next month. So we'll see.
I'm hoping Rom's new story I enjoy because I didn't like the last one.
Yeah, same. So with this also, we're not totally done with Night Terrors, because just like last month as well, we've got a little bit of Batman. Most of these also didn't hit as well as last month either. So maybe I just approached the whole Night Terrors event with more optimism last month than this month, because I did read. So in the end, it's like, just going down the line, I read the Joker, Robin, Punchline, and Nightwing. And I thought all of them were in that middle of the road, like, they're fine. It's hard for me to like recommend those and be like, oh yeah, check that out because that was good. Whereas I thought the Joker one last month was actually, I'd say it was like good. The Robin one last month was good. Punchline was good. Nightwing was good. I don't know. I had a very meh reaction to them all this month. Better than both the Batman issues we just talked about, but still just meh.
I read Joker, Robin, Punchline, Nightwing, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, and the only one I actually liked was I thought Joker was decent.
Yeah,
I thought Punchline was just as good as the last issue. I like that one a lot. I thought the Catwoman issue was the worst one. I still think I think it's just as bad as last month. And the Harley Quinn stuff, just they're really like kind of like stressing this Harley Quinn multiverse stuff lately. Like I don't understand what it is, but like every Harley Quinn book feels like a multiverse adventure recently, and it's just weird because is editorial not paying attention? Like everything just feels the same, slightly different, but it's still the same concept, and I don't get it. So it just feels there's like there's like 3 Harley Quinn books and they all feel the same, except for there's actually one that I'll talk about it for honorable mentions, but the only one I really dug was Punchline.
Look, that you got me to read 2 Punchline comic book issues, Peter.
Punchline is a great character. I don't care what anyone says. Job. She's fantastic.
You did a good job there. You got me.
You should read more Punchline. I think she's a really fun character to read.
We'll see. Maybe and I'm not just characters. That I don't just say that. Ooh, I'm not Eric Holzman.
No, he just hates female superheroes. You hate female.
Oh, okay. There's a big difference.
Yeah,
but I had some stank on it because, and I think I mentioned last month. I've mentioned on the show before too that created in the Tynion run of Batman where I felt like the focus was just creating IP so that you could just create IP. So I had a little bit of negative stigma attached to it. So enough time has passed and dust has settled that maybe I can approach and give a fair shot to the character now, where I know I didn't before.
Yeah, I think you just didn't like Ghostmaker.
I still don't like Ghostmaker. Jay Yaz and I, no matter how far we may one day get on certain opinions, we will always come together for our hatred for Ghostmaker.
Yeah, Ghostmaker. From his awful. MC Hammer pants to his name.
Yep. contradicting backstory as well. Hooray. So anyways, okay, that's the kibosh on Night Terrors. So Pete, let's now wake up and let's talk about the other Batman comics that were released in August. Starting with August 8th, in which Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries number 11 was released. The penultimate issue, Peter, of this series. Still no Scrappy.
That is the biggest concern in my life right now is where's Scrappy Doo?
You want Scrappy. Did you read this?
No,
Okay.
I did not.
I know most of the time you don't, but I'm not going to answer for you. And it's a little virtual reality based, which brings in some Oracle, brings in some Scooby and Shaggy eating, which is fun. But then, of course, it's a ghost in the machine. It's not the strongest, definitely not the worst. It's consistent with every issue of this volume and the previous volume of Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries. Fun, easily digestible entertainment. The villain behind the ghost, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a fun little deep pull. And yeah, there you go.
Is it
a little
red
bit
herring?
more of the same? Nope. A little more of the same in vibe and tone. So next month, I think Batman Beyond's being brought into it or something.
Oh, I might check that out.
And then that'll be the last issue of this volume. I haven't seen anything to confirm or deny that there's going to be another volume. I have no idea, but they will end up collecting it probably in 2 trade paperbacks like they did the last volume. And I mean, if you dug it before, then I'd say, yeah, go for it. If you don't feel like you can get tired of this, you're a little in and out, maybe just go for certain issues, kind of like you've done.
I'd be down for like an adult red herring.
Yeah.
Yeah, like see.
You're not going to find that in Batman Scooby-Doo, I bet. Are you talking like immaturity or like it's an adult?
Like no, just him as I don't know, like a 25-year-old.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then never mind.
He's like where he's in the story like that, like an adult. Like usually he's pup named Scooby-Doo. He's a kid as an adult, like an adult red herring. I'd love to see him in a story because that was it. When you told me like they did pup named Scooby-Doo, I was like, yeah. I was really excited for that. I love that show. It's one of my favorites. And yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. Like if they do Scrappy, I'll definitely pick up Scrappy issue because I want to see what they do with it. But
just do a one shot. One shot just for Pete. Red herring.
Can you just do it? Can it be the annual? Can you do the Batman Scooby-Doo annual? Can it have Scrappy?
There you go.
In it? Like
they do annuals for everything. Why can't they do it for this?
I mean, the annual never has to. It feels like these stories don't really connect anyway. To be honest, it's like they all feel like one-offs, connected. Right?
Yeah,
they're mostly one-off issues, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're not interconnected.
There you go. This could be easily done.
It can.
Where
I think you should just write it. Just write it.
I wouldn't even know how.
All right. Moving along the next week, August 15th. Oh, let's see. Batman White Knight presents Generation Joker number 4.
Yeah.
Great final page reveal last month in an orange suited Mr. Freeze.
Which is still weird to get used to.
But looks great. Suit looks great. I do like the coloring. Great cover to the issue. And then the story we learn about
the white cover.
We learned about why his suit's orange, what he's doing there at Old Arkham, and then like I don't know, like the story just kind of keeps evolving. It keeps providing certain surprises. I think I say it and it's meant as a positive way. It's in like it's continues to flow as the previous 3 issues have. I have no like negatives. I have just like positives to say about it. It's a little bit lighter of a series than obviously the main White Knight books, and I think it's lighter than the Harley Quinn book. I don't think that's a negative. I just think it's just different. It's a different approach, different story.
It's the kids.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love the kids.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
I can follow their antics all day. Like I like to me, this is their book. You know, like I Harley and Freeze and everybody, they're all around them. Like to me, this is all about the kids. The kids are the driving part of the story. They're stealing the drive and they break the drive. You know, like it's it's just fun watching them just be dumb kids. And I enjoy everything they did with Joker and Jack. And it's like you said, it's every issue just continues to just keep my interest and feel new and evolve, progressing with the story and just moving forward. And it's never feels slow, and the pacing's great and the artwork's beautiful. And it's like I never thought Mr. Freeze should ever be orange, but it all makes sense in the context of the story, right? Like it's just
Exactly. That's
something
and
I can't complain. It's weird. Like it's
nerdy as that is, as nerdy as that is for us to talk
orange.
about. Yeah, exactly. He's orange. I mean,
It's
but he
just funny.
just has a look.
Is he an Orange Lantern? Like you're just joking around, but like
But
it works.
It works.
It works.
Yeah, it works. I do like the. Let's see. How do I word this? Riot's inclusion. Now she is Wyatt. Neo Joker is Wyatt. Riot.
Which thank God they gave her a new name.
See, I didn't bug, and I've heard
Just kind of felt dumb.
Murphy before say he didn't like the Neo Joker name. Didn't
Yeah.
bug me. Riot though, like I think that cool. Like no issues of a name change. I like where her story goes to. I think it's a good element to throw in to drive the the final two issues of this story.
I wish
And then
her
maybe
real
in
name
the
was
future,
like
if anything
Marley.
else happens. Marley.
Yeah, like, just ironically, Harley and Marley.
Marley.
Like it's
Harley
like
and
Jack
Marley.
had a thing for rhymes.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So yeah, good issue,
Love it.
entertaining issue. There's two more left, and then we don't know, how long until more of the White Knight universe. So enjoy it.
To be honest, like I could do, my only nitpick is I could do less with John Stewart and Wonder Woman. Like I kind of wish they weren't even there.
Gotcha.
I kind of wish this was just a Batman thing. Like I get like they kind of want to expand, but I kind of feel good just having a little small Batman world.
Well, I understand they show up because they're the reason that the kids keep moving. In the end, I feel like it's not too deep with their inclusion, at least right now. Still, we know what those characters, like their meaning to the ties to DC universe and stuff like that. But as far as like their inclusion here, it is, I feel like, because they had what, not even a page, maybe a page.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
showing up here
overall,
too.
like, I mean, they've appeared in I think every issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just saying,
Yeah,
I was.
gotcha.
It's cool. It doesn't bother me. Just a little nitpick.
Yep, no problem. Got it. I'm gonna let you take the reins because I know how you feel on this next one. Batman Superman World's Finest, number 18.
This is great. I mean, it sucks because like I see Justin's gonna look at the cover and he's like, I can't read this book. It looks like a sports car. That's not Batman's Batmobile. That's my Uncle Chevy. But I thought this was really creative. Blending the two worlds, getting the first meeting. Like again, we're getting the first meeting between Batman and Superman. So I thought it was interesting. Superman offering his help to Gordon. I thought it was very DCU. I thought it was a little. I mean, first of all, and let's be honest, she's back. She's back. What's her name, Ryan? Say her name. In
Martha?
grand fashion, she was back. Magpie.
Yes.
Magpie.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to go through here real quick. I was like, oh crap, who is it? Yeah, Magpie.
Yeah. I mean, come on. That greatest
God
haircut
bless.
in the history of comics. It was wonderful to see her. I thought it was a little interesting how Batman just revealed himself.
Magpie, though, respects that they didn't try to, let's 2023 her. No, you 1986 her.
No, that's Magpie. There's
full
if you don't know,
style,
that's Magpie.
fishnets, all that. Like
nothing. She has
head
the
to
only
toe.
thing I think at one point when her like sideburn silver. Like I think her hair color was different at one point.
Her hair was in the Beware the Batman cartoon.
Okay.
She was different, but I'm just glad that they absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's Magpie. That's
1986 Magpie. Yeah.
Isn't it great? I was like, wow.
Good.
And you can see the progression and the errors, and there's blue Batman with the black like front cowl thing going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really fun though. Like, excuse me, this is just like, to me, this is like an animated episode. Like it's got that kind of vibe to it. The car. It feels like B-Taz meets S-Taz. You were like, really,
B-Taz,
that's
S-Taz.
so good. It's such a good combination
Well,
of the two. Like,
it's a really good. So the cover kind of even foreshadows that. I think it's a great cover,
of
and
course, it
how
is.
you definitely have like main part, like the upper third or 2/3 of the cover, split Superman, Batman with their, Metropolis by Superman, Batcave by Batman, and then get down to the bottom, and it's like Bruce's, like they flip the sides of the two of their alter
Mhm.
egos, and I just think that like that's an awesome cover. I just like the cover,
Yeah,
but then
I believe Dan Mora.
it, oh yeah, yeah, and then it like I said, it foreshadows almost the issue because I think it does such a really good job of going to Metropolis and Gotham and then combining elements from Batman's world and Metropolis and vice versa. Like it's a great blend. And this is probably
I
it's
love
the
Clark Kent
origin
and Fedora, by the way.
the origin of the world's finest team, Phantom Riddles, part one. It's probably going to be a 5-part arc. It's kind
Make
of
it
their sweet
12.
spot so far. But the Riddler is another aspect of this that I really enjoyed because it's not as it seems with the Riddler, which is cool. And then of course what you said, if Magpie shows up as a fun, it's not just there. It could have just been there as a fun little 2-page thing and that's it. But instead it does serve a purpose. Um yeah, I just think it's a fun issue beginning to end.
Riddler's getting a lot of love these days. Isn't it
Yes.
nice?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves, for bringing the Riddler back. Thank
That's
you.
right. This version is a little different from the Batman, but they're both the
yeah.
Riddler. They're
But
both
hey,
the Riddler.
you saying that's not the Riddler?
I would never say that.
Thank you.
Yep. So yeah, excited to see where this goes. Because I always get it's rewarding when a new something kicks off and it gets you very, very excited. And
This
it's like
seems
this
to
was really
be.
good. This was really fun.
I think this is going to be the arc that really, from first issue to conclusion, really just pretty beautiful bow tied on top. Because like we've liked this title for the most part. We're 18
Yeah.
issues into it, but like sometimes it gets a little fantastical at the end, right? The past two
Yep.
arcs,
Yeah.
and this seems to kind of be a little bit more toned down
Mhm.
to an extent. But I mean, Wade's been crushing it. Like this overall, this is like I always look forward to this book. This is never something like, oh man, I gotta read this. It's like Batman
Yeah.
Beyond Neo Gothic or whatever the thing's called. It's like, oh god, this thing's crap.
We gave the last Batman Beyond a fair shot, and
I
were
read it
just
this
like,
month.
I think
Actually,
we're good. You did. Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
I did not.
There's a good Killer Croc scene in it, but that's about it. It's not a really good story.
So just read that page and be like, I'm good. There we go. Got what I needed.
It's a good action scene. I mean, Croc. It was cool what they did with him. I was like kind of actually sucked into the mythology of Batman Beyond and this version of Killer Croc, because Batman kind of turned him into a bodyguard for something that is, apparently very important, like Bruce Wayne, Batman. Yeah. So Croc's been like growing like Godzilla for like 30 years, apparently under Gotham City. So it piqued my interest as a Croc fan, what they did with him. I still think the story's weak, but I'm really, I don't know if Croc will appear again, but
yeah,
it's worth, at least for me, keeping up digitally. Yeah. Like,
right.
oh, this is inflaming shit. It's just shit.
Always a positive. Moving along to the next week, August 22nd, Pete, Batman the Brave and the Bold #4 came out.
I got things to say about this.
I'm sure you do. You go first,
okay.
because
I'm going to go first because I'm just going to take it over. Like especially like Bill and Javi, you guys are crazy. This is overpriced crap. Like the Tom King story isn't even present for like the last 2 issues, so they suckered all you guys in to buy that shit, which it's not as good. I'm going full Paul Harmon here. It's not as good as the original tale. Like like just read the original story. Who cares about this backup thing? Like it's just dumb in my opinion. It's a huge money grab. They stuck Batman on the title, and then I couldn't even get halfway through it. I don't even care about the end thing of the black and the white stuff. Javi told me it's good. This title sucks. I'm so over it. It's overpriced. It's a bad anthology book, and the main story that you all love isn't even present. So I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, waste your money. I told you not to buy it to begin with. That's it. I'm just like, they came at me at Twitter, so I just, instead of typing it out, I went at them.
There you go. I'll
I think it was
clock,
on the Facebook group.
I'll log the time of that and then just clip that and post it and include Javi. Like, here you go, Javi. I don't. So I don't know. Tone down what you said a couple notches, and I'm I'm close. Well, I'm not like that passionate and like that strong about it, but I don't disagree with what you're saying either. Of full disclosure, I have not bought one of these issues for this yet. And I'm really glad because I think it even came out of one of the issues. There was going to be a filler story because the King and Garrett's story was going to have to take another month. I'm like, oh, so that just kind of throws off everything. I'll just wait for Collected then. And I'm glad because, yeah, this is the second issue. That the selling point of the Brave and the Bold was going to be this Batman Joker story, right? To kick it off. And now there's 4 issues. 2 of them don't even have that story. I've been much higher in praise for that story than you. I've really enjoyed the 2 issues so far. I look forward to what's coming next with it. But I too think this is close to, you got your money's worth with Urban Legends. I was like, I'm not buying Batman Urban Legends because for me it was like, nah. And I think this is similar to that now is what you're saying. Because I agree also if it's 60.
I think this is worse. I think Urban Legends had one dud issue.
65 pages,
40
pages of that are not Batman. And sorry, they might be good stories, but I don't care to read them.
By the time I got to the black and white story, I was so done, and I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm done with this title. I may not even read it next month.
The filler story in this one is called Enter the Abyss. Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing writers, and then Kelly Jones on the art. So I got, of course, interested with Kelly Jones, but I didn't like the story. It was very much like Kelly Jones.
It's like people call Batman 89 a money grab. This is a money grab. This is like an $8 book, and Tom King hasn't appeared in it twice.
I really did like the black and white. I've enjoyed the black and white stories at the end every month, but I'm not going to spend $8 for an 8-page story.
Yeah, I mean, it had everyone in there. I saw Stephanie, I saw Cassandra. I was like, everyone I love is in there.
There's another thing that it was about family.
Okay, but like, no, this is a money grab. You're not getting me on this one, guys.
Yeah, so I really look forward to hopefully next month the return of that story from King and Garrett's. But I don't know. We'll wait and we'll see. I have no regrets thus far, but hopefully the Batman Joker story continues how I feel about it and then is collected. And that's how they'll get my money for that.
And they might I got a feeling they might collect that as a trade in itself, because I feel like that's kind of like,
I hope so.
It's like what they did with the new 52 Shazam. I think they were backup stories in Justice League, and it ended up being one trade.
Yep. Yeah.
Which I bought it because Shazam needs all the help he can get.
And then ended up providing basically an outline for a movie.
Yeah. And I like that. I like those 2 movies a lot.
I'm going to correct myself here, Pete. Also that Tuesday, Batman The Adventures continues. Season 3, issue 7. I'd read somewhere that this was going to be a 7-issue series. No, this is going to be an 8-issue series. So we have one more month. And then that, as far as we know it, they aren't doing season 4. Like that's it. And the cover for that, I saw Paul Dini.
They are not. Is that what you're saying?
They are not. So we have one more issue in this world. And as far as we know, for the foreseeable future, like that's it. Done.
Omnibus.
Paul Dini posted or retweeted, quote tweeted the cover for the next issue, and Ty Templeton did it, and it is a throwback to the very first issue in the 90s of the Batman Adventures.
Ooh,
so that one, as we all know, is
this on Twitter?
Yeah, so just check out Paul Dini's Twitter. But it is like, because that issue, it's Penguin that's big over like a yellow of one, Batman's on the bottom. Yeah. It's almost like mirrored, except it's Ra's al Ghul.
It was one of the first comic books my grandmother bought me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Fond memories of that book.
Great issue too. And that the series.
The whole run. But it's definitely, if you have a wonderful comic shop near you, it's definitely worth looking for the issues, whether they're the priced expensive books or just $1 back
The
issues?
omnibus is coming. Or
Well,
I don't
then
think
you
it's
can
out
wait for
yet.
that.
An omnibus is coming for that, but I wonder if that's going to be glossy or like the papered, because the actual issues and then the
It's got the construction
trades
paper
that they
feel.
did, the construction paper, which I'm a huge fan of, and I think serves
It's my
that book.
preferred paper easily.
Yeah, serves that book well when it's so like dark driven, like
Mhm.
thicker paper. But anyways, so back to this issue. This issue is good. This issue is fun. Bringing it back to I think the opening of the Batman: The Adventures Continue, because it's got the Court of Owls, which I think we got a little bit of a peek last month with their inclusion in this story. But get some more of that, get some more context on why Seleno's being held by them, as well as who showed up down there being held in captivity with her and stuff. And then throwing, Man Bat, Ra's al Ghul, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Catwoman. It's not overstuffed. It serves the story well, and I think it's kind of going all out for this being the final arc. Good issue.
Did I want now, being that you are, my Batman companion, you're supposed to keep track of my complaints.
Thank you. Yes.
Have I been complaining that there's too much Court of Owls recently? Has that been? I feel like I've said that
complaint, but like a light complaint. Like you didn't
mind them here.
You didn't go crazy of like,
yeah.
But instead, it was like, there's a lot of Court of Owls, and I agree. Yeah. There is a lot of Court of Owls. It feels
a lot of Court of Owls recently, but I didn't mind them here. Like I really. I just think that's just Burnett and Dini. Like they're just such good writers, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel so sucked in to this. I don't know. Maybe it's heavy nostalgia, but like this volume, like these 3 seasons have been such a joy for me. Like to revisit the animated series and in comic book form, even. I look at the cover and it's just like I want to frame this. The only thing it's missing is Nightwing, in my opinion. Right? Nightwing background, whatever. It's a beautiful cover, and it just everything about this book is just wonderful. The Joker straight man story was like, okay, it was all right, but everything that's like the worst of it, in my opinion. If I'm looking at it just as a whole, just another great issue. It's beautiful. It really is. Like this is just. You could tell it's written by people who love Batman, right? It's just so well done. It's so well looked aftered and nurtured. I don't know. It's almost like the perfect Batman book.
It's going to encourage a reread of like going back to the Batman Adventures of that issue #1 way back in the 90s. It's just going to inspire a reread for me of everything.
This makes me want to rewatch the show though. Like I just have, this makes me want to rewatch Phantasm. Like go back to Batman Beyond. Like the Timverse. It's such a driving just like storyline. Not even I don't know. Maybe it's just a universe. I mean, it's
fun.
It just captures my heart.
Nostalgic.
Yeah.
Just dipping into and knowing. I think another thing is like knowing, especially because we know the passing of Kevin Conroy, of like this universe, this world, and Arlene Sorkin of with this world, that maybe this like next issue, maybe it is like, okay, it's the bow on the end. There's not going to be any more tie into this universe stuff as far as like original stories and you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's sad, but I understand it because it's like, I feel like honoring, to me, it's like honoring them. Like, because what I hear the voices when I read the book.
Yeah.
Like, granted, I don't know what Deathstroke sounded like in the animated series, right? He makes it
for the most part
early on, but like
the voices.
Like, it's the voices. These are the voices, and these are like, and it's even more so with this stuff because it's the same art style, but like, every Spider-Man to me when I read it sounds like 90s Fox Spider-Man. Every Batman I read sounds like Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
It just is, like those are there are other voices, like
unavoidable.
I can't help it, As much as I love Jack Nicholson, sometimes I hear Mark Hamill's voice when I read it,
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So look out for that finale next month. And then Pete's gonna be an emotional wreck. But
get your Kleenex out.
This is a 5 Tuesday month. So the final The final Tuesday, August 29th.
August
We had 2 issues
29th.
to add here. First
Whoa.
off, I stand corrected. It's not a normal Batman issue next month. It does tie into something. It ties into Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War. And this one, the first issue that came out of that, Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Battle Lines, #1. Now, Pete, I said something on Twitter about this, and you
Was obnoxious.
laughed at me about it.
Of course. Well, of course.
One thing that annoys me to death, in which I already said that with the Night Terrors, Night's End. After, I forget what the opening name was for the issue, but then it was Night Terrors 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's Night's End. Like, why isn't it just issue 5? Why isn't issue 6? And the first issue is #1. Okay, same thing with Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Battle Lines #1. Then to be picked up in Batman issue whatever, Catwoman issue whatever. Then Batman, Catwoman, Gotham War, Red Hood #1, and then the final one is like Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Seduction #1. Like, keep the naming and numbering shit the same. It's so easy to follow along that way, rather than now, like, you're not helping out your sales and you're not helping out your readers.
I feel like this is
When it's a
always done it.
it's a freaking no. What I remember is the lead up to,
You'd have like the
Was it
prelude
Metal?
to the road to,
there
and then
was
you have the storyline, then you have the tie-ins.
true.
You know,
Metal.
like I'm using No
in
Man's Land as an example.
Metal, there was like DC not convergence. I don't know. There was some word #1, and then the next one was a totally different title, but it was crucial to lead up to. And then the next one was Metal, and it was like, wait, what the shit is this? And I don't
I think they're
understand their
getting
naming
better, though.
conventions.
Because like a few months ago it was a little word, like when it was like Lazarus Planet Alpha, Lazarus Planet Omega. You know, like I was like, okay, that's a little weird. Why couldn't it just be Lazarus Planet 1 and 2? But like, to me, this makes sense. It's like the main story is essentially 2 issues, and then you have the offshoots, right? You know, like the book, or at least the bookends. This isn't the worst they've done. I think they've done way worse, and I love to complain when they do horrible, stupid things. We all know this. So this doesn't really bother me. I actually kind of think they're taming it down a bit. That's just me. But I get what you're saying. It's annoying, but I still think
make it easier to follow along.
I'd rather them do this than be like Batman, Catwoman, 5 issues on its own, and then don't forget to read Batman. And you know, like, to me, it's like, okay, you have a big introductory story, and then it's in Batman. Okay, cool. Okay, I get that. It's in the title because it's a split title between Howard and Chip, right? So and it's also so I dig that, you know, and it's not expanding into detective, it's just Batman, Catwoman. So I get the angle. It doesn't bother me.
And I feel like it's all gonna be wrapped up in like a month,
which is great. Like, it's taking that Night Terrors approach.
Yeah. So with all that being said,
and that's the benefit of having it in Batman and Catwoman too, right? Like, you're getting 4 issues, and you're getting them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But
October.
Storyline I love.
Okay. Oh, there we go. So Gotham, Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Battle Lines #1. Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Red Hood #1. Batman, Catwoman, Red Hood #2. Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Scorched Earth #1. Like, come on, people. All that being said, though, I like this issue. I thought it was
I think the issue's great.
I thought it was a fun
I think the conflict's real.
Bingo. Like, right there. I think the conflict feels very organic. It feels like, this totally does make sense. It doesn't just,
I side with Batman, but it makes sense.
It doesn't just come out of nowhere of like, well, we have to have this fight. So it's like Batman, due to the events of Night Terrors, he's been out for 8 weeks and wakes up in the cave, which I think is a great start to the issue. Sure, why not? We don't have to do all. Well, no, there is a whole page of freaking Batman as Zur-En-Arrh, which, damn it, that's just coming. I think Zdarsky's really gonna go dive into that so much, and it's just gonna be.
Javi's gonna be like just bathing in Skittles.
And then to torture me, he's going to be like, hey, can I come on the Batman book club and let's talk Batman Zur-En-Arrh story from Chip Zdarsky? And I'm going to say, you know what? I've never told somebody no, but no. But that's not here. This issue, I think, was, it was good. I think what Catwoman's doing it makes total sense, and it feels true to the character of Catwoman that she's making this approach. Feels true to the character of Batman that Batman, while everybody else is questioning, that Batman's the one who has to push back and be like, absolutely not. This isn't right. And I'm with you. I agree. I think Batman has this head on straight with this, and I think this
And
is just a great opening issue to set the table for the Gotham War. I think it's really good.
if you were reading Howard's Catwoman, it like this has been leading up to this too. So she's been
Oh,
working her
okay,
magic
cool.
on simultaneously. Not the Night Terror stuff. That stuff I didn't like, but
Mhm.
the main Catwoman title. So they've both been kind of building up to this, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. So I mean, and then the art. Let's always talk about the art. I think Mike Hawthorne, who did the
I didn't like his Batman
Batman
suit.
Begins again, of the last Batman story arc. You don't like the Batman suit?
Yeah, the logo looks weird to me. I don't like the logo.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
just a little nitpick, but yeah, the bat suit's not
Okay, I see it. But what's really funny is like that's actually a bat symbol I can kind of draw though, because it does feel just like harsh lines and
Mhm.
points. The
You don't like
oval,
curves?
I can't do. I couldn't do the
You can't
oval
draw
to
an
save my
oval.
life. It's
You
awful.
can't draw an oval.
Mm.
It's an oval. Come on.
No. Well,
You can't draw zero.
okay, I can do, but then the bat symbol inside with the right curves are very important.
Especially on a
Yeah.
Sheila.
Yep. So, anyways, good first start. We'll have more on this next month at 11.
Oh.
And then, much to Trey Jackson's chagrin, the Riddler Year One story comes to a conclusion this month
Oh, he doesn't like it?
with issue number 6. Well, no, he's been writing the reviews on Batman on Film. They've been good
Oh, okay.
too. I'll check him out. And so, but it's the end of his reviews on that book. So, sorry, Trey. Learn it,
I have to
gentlemen.
pick up another one.
So,
There's tons of them out there.
yeah, you can start off with this one.
This one, like, I enjoyed it. I liked it. At times, I kind of felt a little lost. I didn't think it was as crisp as the previous couple issues, but I still enjoyed it. Like, because I like where it ended, because it basically ends. I feel like the beginning of his. I almost want to say it's like the beginning of the Batman, right? Like, I don't know, like he's just dressed and ready to kill, right? Like, I feel like that's what he's got the carpet tool in his hand, right? Like, I feel like he's just going off to kill the mayor. But yeah, like overall, like I appreciated the story a lot. I really like what Dano did, and I like to deep dive into it.
Yeah. I look forward to the collection, which as of now is supposed to be available November, maybe November 21st. I'll be picking it up, and then I'll be doing a reread, which I look forward to doing, because that's one complaint with Black Label, and this is just a me thing, is the fact of having like the month in between each issue. Because I do now, it's not me just remembering last issue, it's me remembering to October of last year.
Gotcha.
And like, wait, what each and which I think was last, and see, I don't even remember now if it was last month or the month before. That was like the Riddler's Journal. That one I can remember.
Yeah.
But and so that's just me remembering. So it's hard to even say like that's a complaint. But I know to get the artists and the storytellers that you want for Black Label, like you need to give them more time. So it's like I get it too. It's just a me thing. All that being said, I thought this issue was really good. I'm with you of like, I mean, it leads right into the Batman as promised, basically. I think it's gonna read even better collected, so that
I
you can
agree.
just go through it completely. But
I look forward to adding this to like my Batman Saga collection. I think there's a really cool.
Same.
I really like how this whole world's being crafted out between, and I've said this numerous times, between the movie, that prequel novel, this Penguin. Like, I love how they're really just diving into this universe. This is like, if they're gonna do like expanded shared stuff movie wise, like this is more along my taste.
Yeah.
Because it's contained to one character in his world. Like I want to see Batman doing Batman things. I don't want to see.
I don't
Batman
know. I don't think there's going to be any more Riddler comic book continuation unless he's a third movie. He's going to come into that, and maybe him and Arkham. Maybe that's what you can do. Him and Arkham 6-issue stories or something, and him encountering other villains. I don't know. I would look forward to something like that. I don't know what the next thing is, comic book wise, if there even is going to be one
Colin
in the
Farrell's
Batman
gonna write a
universe.
comic book.
But yes, please, absolutely,
If he wants to.
bring it, bring it on. Maybe he's already been writing one during the strike. He's like, hey, we're good.
The Penguin, the Lost Episodes.
Yeah. Ooh.
3-issue. Oversized black label. There you go. That's it.
Okay. Done. Yeah, so there you go. The Riddler. And Pete, let's see. I mean, this is another section of Batman and Friends, but I had two originally, but I'm just gonna do the one. I want to talk the Penguin #1 by Tom King.
Yeah.
The artist's name escapes me right now. I apologize. Trying to hold up, talk slowly so that I can say last name.
Overall, I thought
De La
the story
Torre.
was really good.
De La Torre.
Yeah.
Did you get your Straight Outta Gotham variant?
No, I got to get it. I'm getting it.
Oh, you still got to go pick it up. Okay. Well, yeah, this is your guy though. Ozzy's your guy. Anybody who listens or pays attention to you knows P is Hasbula, Uxus, Galactus, Penguin.
Yeah, especially
Uxus. Have at it.
I mean, this thing is great. Like, what was the? Oh man, like, I mean, the last Penguin story we got was really good too, and I think this is just as good. Like, it's just magnificent. It's just, it's like, I don't know. This could go down as like top 5 Penguin stories. Yeah. Like, I already get vibes of this. You know, like, I'm not trying to spoil anything because I want you all to read it because it should be read. But this is like, this is gangster Oswald.
Yeah,
that's just it, baby. It's just gangster Oswald. You know, don't look at his stature. Don't expect him to be a pushover. Just, he's a man not to be messed with. You do not want to mess with Oswald.
Well, and how they have the name Raphael De La Torre or De La Torre is the artist. But yeah, this, I don't know. I had high expectations anyway, and high
really
hopes.
You're not a fan. Okay.
What?
You said
no, it's just like, no, they're doing I had high expectations because it's a solo. I mean, after this version of the Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, I loved that. A lot of it has to do obviously with Matthew Rosenberg that you and I are big fans of. So doing a Penguin book, and I think Tom King mentioned it when he was on this show even, and he said that like when we were done, and he said that he had to go. He's like, yeah, I got to write this Penguin issue, which I think was originally going to come out in like May or something, then it just pushed back. And then this is going to be an ongoing series as well. And the next issue is supposed to be brutal. All this stuff has me very much okay. I have expectations up here, and I think they exceeded them. I thought this issue was awesome.
Okay, all right.
I thought it was like just fantastic. Commented briefly. I think I forget the character's name that confronts Oswald, and I thought they mentioned the killing time, like briefly, something about Clock King, I think. So tying it a little bit toward that, you know, other King works, but I think as its own thing, it's just I think you're gonna get almost a little bit of like a precursor of what the Penguin series on Max is going to be too, of like mob crime series. Like Oswald, as much as we know, he's tried to escape his image, and he's, you know, reinvented himself, and they're following him and everything. And then it's just like, as far as we know, it's interesting to me of he is out, and the good guys basically bring him back to being bad. And it's just so interesting to me.
Also, for me, like, you know how much I love Killing Time.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this has direct ties, it's almost like a Killing Time sequel in a way, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that gets me too. Like, that's why I'm like, I can't wait, you know? And then the way the book ends and begins, I'm like, how'd you get here? Like that, you know, like how did we get here?
Yeah.
So like, I you know, Tom, I love you. I know I was a little rough on that Joker story, but like, you know,
he'll forgive you. He'll forgive you.
This is like, I love you, bro.
This is great.
I love you. Like, oh my God. and the artwork is just like I love the coloring. You know, whoever colored this book, God bless you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have the credits in front of me right now.
Marcelo Maiolo. So you know
Oh,
how we go.
wonderful!
Marcelo M. Yeah, great
Like you
coloring.
did a beautiful job. Like Oswald walking in the park. It's just like it feels eerie because it's like, what is he doing on the daylight? Who is he trying to
Yeah.
pretend? You know, like
Well, even
Oswald feels out of place, and that's what you're like what's going on
the
here?
opening coloring of Batman, and then you discover Oswald's with him in the Batwing, and it's just sinking out
Mm.
in like the ocean, you know.
Yeah.
And like
How did
that
we get here?
looks great. The coloring with that and stuff too. And yeah, whole issue, like a banger, is great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is
No criticisms, nitpicks, nothing. And this, like I
nah,
said before
bro.
too, of when a first issue just really does like hook you really well. It's like, okay, I hope this continues like the next 5 issues or whatever. And this one, as far it's ongoing, don't know the final count, anything like that. So it's like you come out hot. Hope you keep up the momentum. But
Blazing.
yeah, this is great. Great issue. So any other mentions you got, Peter?
Yeah, I have a few. Hold on here. Oh, I dropped it. Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Redder. That's an anthology book that I think everyone will really like.
In the multiverse?
It's actually the one that doesn't have multiverse stuff in it. Which is it was a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
World's Finest Teen Titans I thought was a dud, and that's bad. I feel bad because I feel like I've really been liking Mark Wade and what
That's
he's been
why
doing.
I didn't mention it.
Yeah, it's a dud.
Yeah, I did not enjoy the issue. It was so I'm just like, I don't need to pile on, but since you brought it up, yeah, I read it and I didn't like it.
Justice Society of America #5. Are you reading this?
You're hot on this book. I haven't read it
Heavily,
yet.
you have to. You
I know,
stop.
it's
Stop
the
slacking
GOAT.
off. Read it. Just
Jeff
read
Johns,
it.
the GOAT.
It's not
I need
even
to get
yeah,
on
but
it.
it's like there's a lot of Batman stuff in here. You'll really get into it, and it's good for you. And this DC multiverse Harley book is really good. Harley screws out the DC universe. It's the final issue, 6 of 6, and it's just fun. It's more just this crazy, it's crazy wonky. I think it's the final issue. Yeah, did I make a mistake? Yeah, yeah, this is the end. So that I actually liked. The main Harley Quinn book I'm not enjoying. And the Night Terrors I think because like between those three they're the same book it seems like. But those are my my honorable mentions. So make sure you're reading Justice Society. It's really good.
Is there any announcement or anything as far as how many issues that's going to be?
I don't know.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Does
All
it
right.
say to be concluded?
Because I know
No.
that ends up depending on when a trade will come out. Usually a trade will come out after 6 issues. For most things, if it's like a 12 issue series
It's
or
definitely
longer,
gonna keep going.
after
So
6
you'll at least get one
issues,
volume of
the
trade.
first trade will come. Okay.
Yeah,
So
but it's really
cool.
good. You should read that.
I know you've been telling me I need to get on it.
I know. That's like when I asked you to stay in Gotham, you didn't even do it.
True.
He has no respect. He doesn't listen to me.
Hey, shut up, Pete. Gosh. All right. Well, hey, on that happy note, since we're getting along, thanks for coming back on to Batman Book Club. I think this is a longer one for a wrap-up episode.
Yeah,
a little bit longer than our usual. I don't have the timing, but I think we're knocking hour 20, hour 30.
Oh, this could not be a BOF podcast.
just an hour. We're mid sentence. Just cut it. Done.
Cut it.
Out.
That's it.
Finished.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Anyway,
so,
and then here's an announcer, Rachel.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead, Pete, and plug away?
There's no announcer Mira. Okay. Anyway. All right. Fine. He keeps it all to himself. That's it. He's a selfish man. You can follow me on social media. That's Twitter, X, Verra, which we all know is Zaddy's favorite, and Instagram at Pete Illustrated. You can follow Straight Outta Gotham. That is a news-based podcast that I do with the champion of Long Island, Eric Holzman. That's straight_O_G. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook fan page. Consider joining that. You go follow the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast. It's a podcast I host monthly about Spider-Man. Ryan Lauer, this wonderful host here, is on the latest episode. So if you like Lauer, then maybe you should check that out. I'm on BatmanOnFilm.com and Batman on Film YouTube. I have reviews on the website and I have reviews on the YouTube channel. So check that stuff out. And I don't know, did I miss something? I don't remember. I think that's it.
You do a lot of stuff Batman on Film. Your podcast
Yeah, I do.
machine the past couple
Oh
weeks.
yeah. There's a couple podcasts out there. So check out the BOF podcast feed. Make an appearance. I think Lauer's on the show. Are you on one of those shows? Or is it Ryan
with
Haas?
you.
Ryan's. There's one of the Ryans. I got one of the Ryans.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot with Haas.
Yeah.
So there you go.
He's all right.
All
He's got that little twang, it's kind of seductive.
He's busy working on some
sucks you
Super
in.
Mario Brothers extras.
Yeah, he's getting it.
He's a big deal. He's a big deal.
Yeah. He's working on that DVD Studio Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know somebody famous.
DVD screens.
So as for the Batman Book Club, you can follow on Twitter and Instagram at the Batman BC for latest episode drops, upcoming episodes, sometimes some giveaways. You can also follow Pete and I's adventures in the road to No Man's Land, because we're going to get to No Man's Land, Pete. It's going to happen. Keep teasing the folks on the YouTube channel, Batman Book Club. If you want to support the show, there's a variety of ways you can do that. First off, like I said at the top, patreon.com/thebatmanbc. Also, go to tpublic.com, type TBBC for the Batman Book Club. You can get all sorts of items with that great logo created by the one Justin Kowalski. But if you want to support the show and you don't want to spend any money at all, it's 100% A-OK. Easiest, most impactful, cheapest thing you can do is rate and review the show. So wherever you listen to it on your podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, iHeartRadio, just go to the rate and review tab, rate and review the show, because the more reviews the show gets, the more it helps spread the word. And Pete, as we all know, the word is
panic.
Oh, panic. Okay, yeah.
I thought you were teaming me up for that. I thought it was a layup.
I thought usually you throw in a Nuxus, so you caught me off guard. I'm you're not predictable. You're anything but predictable.
Anti-establishment. You never catch me.
So for Peter Verra, I am Ryan Lauer. Till next time, remember.